natural resources. Thank you very much for your time. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Senna.
I hope you're well.
All good by the grace of God.
I don't know if you've seen the Daily Guide this morning. Were you at the meeting between IMANI and the minister?
Unfortunately, no, but I'm very privy to the correspondence that was sent by IMANI initially, requesting for an update, an 18-month update on what has been happening at the ministry in terms of the challenges we met, the successes we've chalked, and going forward, the targets we've set for ourselves. So I was part of the team that prepared the whole presentation and are waiting for him. Unfortunately, the said day I had to be on a different location for another, but I'm very abreast with the issues.
Okay, so take us through why the meeting was arranged and what were the issues that were supposed to be discussed.
Senna, thank you very much for having me on your platform. Good morning to you and then to your cherished listeners. Like I did indicated, IMANI, just like any other civil society organization interested in knowing how our country is steered, requested to meet the minister and have an indoor conversation, understanding what the sector outlook looks like in terms of where we picked the issues from, in terms of the effort that has gone into it, in terms of the remarkable successes that have been chalked, and as well the challenges that we've noted in our 18-month journey being at the ministry, and of course the target we have set for ourselves going forward. And so, as a ministry and as a government that believes that this work demands working with all stakeholders, prepared for IMANI and their team. And indeed, it was a very, very thorough presentation, a 65-page presentation. It will tell you that the minister attached all importance to dealing with the stakeholders that we have to deal with as a government and as a ministry. And so that was it. In summary, IMANI basically wanted to know where we came from or where we took it from, what have been happening over the past 8 months, the successes, the challenges, the targets, and all of that. And we were able to sail through.
I see. Interesting. Because this morning, most of the reportages on, of course, Adamus, some of the things that have been attributed to Mr. Kujo, he said he didn't say that, even though he did post that earlier before the meeting. And I'm sure the minister's attention has also been drawn to the fact that this has become a matter of topical discussion about whether the ministry got it right or wrong. As far as the ministry is concerned, did you make the right decision?
I'm happy Mr. Franklin has been able to be the man that we all know him to be by standing on the side of truth, by saying he never said the things that some of the newspapers have reported this morning. Indeed, he had made some assertions at the earlier stage. But after the presentation we made to him, a holistic presentation, the summary of it, the tail end was a brief of what was happening at Adamus. Of course, it was becoming topical in the news. And so, having listened to minister and having listened to the regulators, IMANI acknowledged that indeed certain breaches have happened. They were only pleading that the minister and the commission temper justice with mercy. That does not mean that the things that we say Adamus as an entity have done against the laws of this country were never true or were unfounded. And so I'm happy he is able to clarify and clear the air that he never said the things that the newspapers have reported. Senna, it is interesting for people to say that because a company is being run by a Ghanaian, when the rules are not followed, we should let it go. But when a company is being managed by foreigners, when the rules are not followed, we should quickly put them on the cross. For me, that is not how to build a system. That is a very biased and selective way of managing a sector.
So, but is it not positive bias in favor of building local enterprises, that every country yearns to build capacity locally? that sometimes you have to be biased in favor of your own as against the foreigner?
It has nothing to do with bending the rules. Biasness sometimes comes in terms of even the things that are required, the fundamental issues. But the obvious laws that borders on safety, that borders on health, that borders on environment, that can affect all of us, that can put all of us in danger. You don't bend those rules just because it's a local business or a local indigenization agenda. So there are the things. That's why our lawyers will say to every law there are exceptions. There are few exceptions that can be made for local business owners, but not ones that can put all of us in danger. For instance, how do you go ahead to operate outside your original demarcated area where you have received the chief inspector of mines permitting, where you have received the EPA's permitting and all other permitting? Then you go out to operate in an area where you do not have any of this permitting. Before Adamus could go to their previous location or the current location we're talking about, the operative law was the Regulation 1999. In the current law, it is the Section 18 of Act 703. Before you undertake anything that looks like mining on your concession outside your original operating plan, you must go to the EPA for an environmental operating permit. Adamus didn't do that. How do you bend this rule just because it's a local entity to put all the people in the area at risk just because you want to promote indigenization? No, that is wrong. That is very wrong. Again, how do you say that, look, because we want to do indigenization, let's allow every local company to bring in foreign nationals, give part of their concession to them for purposes of mining? That is wrong. That is against the law. And so these are flagrant breaches of the law. And when people are talking about matters of law, they say, no, let's put all the other people are saying that let's put all the law aside and say it's because it's a local business. Indeed, there have been a lot of opportunities and a lot of support that has been given to local businesses to thrive. But it should never include things that will put all of us at risk and all of us, our lives in danger.
Oh, I see. So for you, it is the enforcement of the law is important to you. Public safety, all of that comes before any and should be part of any attempt to encourage indigenization. That the indigenous company must abide by the law.
That's right. So now, for instance, look at the hell we are going through to clear our waters, to clear our forests, to clear our land of illegal mining. And one company says, I have a concession. I can go and engage a Chinese or any foreign national to do the same thing we are spending millions of cedis to clear them off. Is it not worrying? Is it not concerning? So if it's even about just financial defaulting, then Adamu says that, oh, for some reasons my books are not looking good. And so in terms of VRA taxes, I have to have some taxes, withheld, or give me some tax holidays to stay in business, do this for me, do that for me. That is acceptable. But not when the decisions, the actions and inactions can put the entire danger into trouble, a very fundamental trouble that we are struggling day and night to solve. Again, that mine is a strategic national asset. The future of the mine is as important as creating jobs for the young people of this country. The issues that are coming up, if strategic and bold steps are not taken, and we look at just one window, indigenization, building local capacity, we find ourselves wanting. That is what happened at Bogoso. Future Global Resource went there, and before they left, a liability of over $87 million. It took a Ghanaian company, Chief Goldfields, solve those challenges. Even though at the beginning they have some challenges, but we supported them. So if those challenges at Adamus are just basic ones. Government is always willing and ready to support local businesses to thrive. They stay in business, but not decisions that are deliberate, decisions that are health and safety consequences, decisions that will end up making the nation incur costs to fix. No.
I see. But Adamus has also insisted that if you looked at the evidence, the committee really did assess the evidence they put before them. They will not have come to the conclusions they have come to. And I spoke to one of their managers who say they're considering even legal action.
That is within their right. It's within every legal entity's right to test the law. The Ministry of Land doesn't make the laws. There are agencies and ministries tasked to interpret the laws and put where one has gone wrong and tell in the face, my brother, you were wrong. We made the laws for ourselves, so they should test the law. But for instance, you are telling me that if we have allowed you to present or submit certain documents, it wouldn't have gotten to where it has gotten to. The same company you set up, the minister set up a committee, the company fails to even comply with the committee. Bring this document, we are not bringing. I'm not letting my manager come to the committee. I'm not doing this. How exactly are we preaching indigenization when local companies do not even want to comply with regulators that they are supposed to work with?
They fail to appear because they were the ones who challenged the decision of the proposal of the Minerals Commission that led to the revocation. And the minister set up the committee for them.
It was just a petition.
Okay.
If you say you are challenging, then it means you are giving legal grounds to say you are wrong.
Okay.
It's a petition that, listen to us too. We have something to say. Then the minister goes to set a committee. The next morning, you are out there challenging the authority and the jurisdiction of that committee.
Really?
A lot has happened in the past few months. And it's as though when it involves government, everybody jumps to the conclusion that, because government is the bigger or the mother institution, it is trying to cheat. It is trying to bend the rules. It is trying to do this. But people do not really even want to come closer and listen to the issues at hand. Sometimes the behavior of some of these entities. It's unfortunate that a local business person or entity have to go through this. It's unfortunate that a woman, I've heard an argument about feminism. I'm a strong advocate for women. But I advocate for women who are right. I don't advocate for anything just because it involves a woman.
Well, on other matters, because Franklin, could you also highlighted a few things? Is it true that some of the water guards that you recruited have been compromised? What's the situation with them?
We are having to deal with a challenge that is very fundamental. And most of these young people, I understand, people are just trying, the school of thought believe that people are just trying to break their morale by leveling unfounded allegation against them just for the state to take attention of them so that they can continue to encroach our river bodies and continue the plunder. There's another school of thought who also believe that, look, to every smoke there is a potential fire. So there's the need for us to investigate. I won't tell you what we've done, but I can assure the people of Ghana that enough mechanisms have been put in place to make sure that we win out. If there is, we win out those potential bad nuts. But for this point, we've not had any empirical evidence that suggests that a blue water guard in a Sunafo, a blue water guard in Ashanti, a blue water guard in that has been caught hands down doing an illegality. That we will not also rubbish all the things that the Ghanaian people are saying. That is why the minister have tasked the team in charge to put the mechanisms that have been set to be the second watchdog on the things that these young people are doing. But I can say on your platform without equivocation that even if there are scintillant evidence of few bad nuts, I can say that the results that we have choked, the successes that we have choked, as a result of the good work the majority of them are doing, is very remarkable. For instance, few days ago, you travel along some of these river bodies, river banks, and people are just on the river mining with impunity. Today, we don't see all those encroachments. You understand? Even though stability is a gradual healing process that we especially those of us who want to see it overnight are somewhat disappointed. But the rate at which you see Chamva and all of that on the river, even when people are traveling, they don't fear. They have no remorse. Today, you don't see those things often. It tells you that the presence of these young guys and young women on the rivering community and rivering bodies alone has become a deterrent to some of these illegal miners. And for me, that is a breakthrough. We might not get the results that we need at the glance or at the twist of a finger. As we go forward, we'll chalk some successes, we'll identify some challenges, we'll fix them as we go ahead.
Has the ministry's attention been drawn to the petition raised by chiefs of the Tano area of a resurgence when it comes to the matter of Galamsey?
I just saw the news this morning, I think on your platform. We're all in the weekend. I want to believe that it came on Friday. Personally, my boss has not briefed me, and at the comms directorate, it has not come to our attention yet. But I just saw it in the news, and I believe that now than ever, the Ghanaian people feel President Mahama is doing something, Minister Amaboa is doing something as far as eliminating the menace of illegal mining is of concern. What was the last time in the previous administration did you see chiefs having trust in a certain government machinery, sending petition that, look, we believe in what you're doing, extend the same attention to our area because this is what we are observing. So for me, it is both an admission that something good is happening and also an indication that more work needs to be done. All we need to do is to expand our strategies and sustain them, and we'll get the results that we're looking for. It doesn't matter which region the menace finds itself. All that matters most, putting in the right resources, expanding the course of the strategy, and sustaining the strategies.
Mahmud, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks so much for having me, Senna. Good morning.
Mahmud Kabore, spokesperson, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, joining us on the line on this continuing discussion. So we started with the matter of Adamus, even with Mr. Franklin Kujo. Then we moved on to the meeting between IMANI and the ministry. A few things to remind you of. Maybe talk too small. Emergencies know they give signal. So when life happens, Momo Day. Yes, Momo Day. Borrow what you can handle from your Momo app. Borrow what you can handle